Hey Capricorn, thank you for joining me for your July reading. I'm Madeleine, if we haven't met before. And we're going to get into your cards in just a second, but first I want to talk about your stars. So all of us experienced a lunar eclipse in the sign of Capricorn on July 5th. And a lunar eclipse is like a full moon on steroids. And a full moon itself is pretty potent. So full moons bring things to either crisis or culmination or consciousness. One way or another, something in our life demands to be looked at. And my favorite analogy to talk about a full moon is a pot of boiling water. If you know what you're putting in the pot and you know how long it's been boiling and you're keeping an eye on it, you're conscious, right? You're conscious of your boiling water. You can cook up something really delicious and amazing with this full moon / lunar eclipse energy. But if you're just throwing shit in the pot willy-nilly and you don't even know how long it's been on the stove and you actually kind of forget and walk away and stop looking at it, you are going to create a big old mess no matter how good the ingredients you might have thrown in there might be, okay? So we want to keep an eye on what is boiling. And for you, Capricorn, because this eclipse occurred in your sign, that means you are experiencing this energy in the first house of your chart, the house of looks, personality, self-image, the vibe we give off to others, the first impression, you could say. So consciousness is being brought to the way that you present yourself. And we could say the way you present yourself, we could also say the way that people read you. Because sometimes we might not be thinking that we come off a certain way, but maybe we hear kind of repeatedly from other people, oh yeah, when I first met you, you were really intimidating. I didn't know if I could like really get to know you or whatever. That tends to be kind of the Capricornian thing of like, oh, you seem a little aloof, or you seem a little cool, or you seem a little all business, right? And that can be good and you know, it brings positives and negatives. But the real thing is, this is a perfect time to be evaluating and keeping an eye on how is my look, my vibe, the way I carry myself, because again, this is all of that stuff. It's first impressions and the sort of most accessible part of your identity. Do I project myself in the way that I want to? Does the way that I project myself make it likely for the kinds of things and people I want in my life to come closer to me? Or are there certain things about my self-image, and that's included, like the way you look at yourself, so my self-image or just my straight up like public image, what do I want to change about that? How would I amend that? Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Spirit's excited to get into your cards. So clearly we're going to weave these messages in together. And I also just want to note before we do get into your cards that eclipse energy, unlike your typical full moons, that's why I say it's a full moon on steroids, eclipse energy rides through your life and your chart for 6 months to a year. So for the rest of 2020 and seeing some of the rewards reaped or the kind of hangover gained from what you do or do not focus on working on again, your identity, your first impression. And this does include like your body, the way that you dress, the way that you cut your hair, the way that you introduce yourself. Time to look at what makes you feel confident and to do more of that. How you want to see yourself, Capricorn. Spirit's already throwing cards, so let's get into it. Spirit, loved ones, guides, those who guard, guide, protect Capricorn. What do they need to know for their highest good, please? Their highest good about where they are, where they're headed, what they have available to them. What is in the past, present, and future for Capricorn? Woo! These cards, they're jumping. What does Capricorn need to know, Spirit, in the month of July for their highest good? What do they need to know about themselves? The energy around them, and how to move toward their future most gracefully to achieve the best joy, fulfillment, wonder, ability possible. Perfect. Ooh, Capricorn. Spirit just said January. Something cool might be coming for you all in January. I did say, you know, the rest of 2020 is kind of the first 6 months of the full year cycle. And I do tend to think of the first 6 months as kind of like, this is prime seed planting time. And then once we hit 2021, it's going to be, like I said, either the positive, awesome results of like, wow, you've been working out, let's say, for 6 months. Like, you look like a totally different person versus you stayed on the exact same track and you didn't look at your boiling pot. So either you look exactly the same or a little bit worse come January. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the kind of difference and the kind of very, again, it's asking for our consciousness. It's just asking for us not to go to sleep on this one area of our life. What is my personal brand? And is it coming off like I want it to? And if not, what do I need to do? You're an industrious Capricorn. You can make the changes you need to make. But let's get into your cards. Woo-wee! Fresh start, eclipse things, identity things. Yeah, the Fool. If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. So said my favorite philosopher, Epictetus. And that can be hard to do for a Capricorn, letting go and like maybe looking foolish. The risk of doing something different that other people might look down on you for. Literally, as I said that, I pull your card. This is the Capricorn card, right? The devil. He is in the past. That's where we like him. If he got to be here, we like him in the past. Woo! Sorry, I'll shut up. I'm going to put your cards up in just a second. Oh my God, Capricorn. I want it all, and I want it now. Okay, Cap. You know, I get the sense that some of you have been feeling a little bit, and let me just say here, Capricorn, of course, you recognize that these are general readings, so there is going to be a through line of your own life and your own intuition that I want you to follow through this reading. Not everything may resonate, and some may resonate more than others, but just trust that if something doesn't resonate with you, that's for some other Capricorns. So if you're like, nope, I haven't been dealing with this, then don't worry, we'll get into your stuff in a second. Some of you, though, have been feeling a little stuck and kind of like, it's not the worst, but it's not the best. That's kind of the feeling they're giving me. Again, I like that the devil is in your past. That does say that most of you are, especially with the Fool in the present and the Temperance card in your future, very ready to let go. And like Spirit just said, and to keep letting go of things that want to weigh you down, of things that maybe keep you from sharing your best like talents, is what I'm hearing for some of you. Some of y'all, Spirit says this with love, have been kind of shooting yourself in the foot. We have the Five of Swords in the position of what is going on within you. And the Five of Swords is kind of a mean card. It's a little bit petty. It's a little bit childish. And Spirit is saying that for some of you, your self-talk has been like this. Like, well, if you were better, then you would have done it already, right? Or if you were good enough for that, then wouldn't you already have that job? Like that kind of Capricornian, very like, if you're not jumping to this height, then whatever you're trying to do is bullshit. If you're not first, you're last. Very Talladega Nights vibes for those of you, my Ricky Bobbies out there. And that is not the case. Even you, Capricorn, even you who are highly competent and highly down for a challenge and down to learn, we can get stuck in ego traps. And this is just what Spirit is like drawing out, is that Devil card. And then they're telling me, like, lunar eclipse in the first house, the Devil is the Capricorn card. Spirit's asking you to outgrow some of your, maybe if I punish myself hard enough or talk shit about myself loud enough, I'll actually push forward and do something good. Spirit's like, can we let go of that? Can we release the idea that if you're just a big enough bitch to yourself that you'll drive yourself to go do what you like, what you want? Like, no. Yeah, they just keep kind of saying like self-cruelty, and self-censure, which is like not a term or phrase that I'm used to throwing around. And they're saying it as I look at this Five of Swords and then I go over to the Two of Swords in the key position. This negative outlook and self-talk is only keeping you frozen. So if you feel frustrated, if you feel bored, if you feel tired and ready to move on, you're in the right place, okay? And I get it. You know, it's kind of like when you're, this is a weird metaphor that Spirit is giving me, but you ever gotten like a really gnarly sunburn and, you know, at least you're past the point of like the throbbing red pain, but now you're at the point where you're covered in like, like big old patches of peeling gnarly skin. You may know the pain of thinking that you're just going to help this along because you're a little tired and frustrated of having the peeling skin, that you might hurt yourself. You might actually like reveal some tender like flesh that wasn't ready because you're trying to hurry along what is just a natural sloughing off process, by kind of like, you know, like you don't take like an exfoliant or like a loofah to your tender peeling sunburned skin. If anything, you take like soft, gentle, like emollients and things to like give your skin additional moisture. You know what I'm saying, Capricorn? It's kind of like we don't need more tough love for you. We need compassion. We need gentleness. We need freedom and a lighter heart. The Fool is at the center of your reading, crossed appropriately by the Seven of Swords, the card of leaving the battlefield, being like, you know what, this shit ain't for me after all. Like, I don't know why I was like fighting you so hard for these swords. You can fucking keep them. You know what I mean? Fuck it. That's the Five of Swords. And the Seven is deciding that things have just not felt right. And whether that's people being shady, and I do feel that that is the case for some of you, where you just get the sense that the environment that you're in, whether that's at work or what have you, it just kind of feels like you don't feel like you're completely in control, and that is triggering for any of us, but especially for a Capricorn. Like that, like there's stuff going on that you don't know about, or like behind your back or under the surface. And I feel like you're just like, nope, like, I don't like this. This is not for me. Moving right along. So some of you are going to be leaving jobs or situations or relationships where it just feels like, I'm not going to get what I want. I'm going to take my shit and go. It's like a Seven of Swords, kind of like a partial success. I didn't get everything I wanted, but I'm going to take what's mine and I'm going to go on. And the Fool says you're going to be happy about it. You know, I said, if you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid, because there is a fresh start available to you that involves approaching challenges. The Chariot is crowning your reading, and the Chariot always does speak of challenge and opposition. But I'll tell you what, it's a very different kind of challenge and opposition than this. This is like opposition for opposition's sake. This is petty and immature and childish and, well, I'm going to do it the way I want to do it, and if you don't like it, tough. Like, that's kind of this energy. And so you're going to be like, okay, well then I guess fucking tough. And either walk away like utterly, or even if you're like, well, I can't quit this job, but I am going to start to look elsewhere, or I am going to start to emotionally detach from the people around me because I recognize that they're no good for me, and start putting my energy, time, effort elsewhere in whatever way. Like, oh cool, so I just get it now. We're not going to be friends. We're just coworkers, and that's fine. I have a much better time at work if I just think of this person as a coworker rather than someone I'm trying to be friends with, and find out that they're talking snarky or whatever. Do you know what I mean, Capricorn? I'm not trying to put paranoid thoughts in your head. Again, if this is not something that resonates with you, then don't worry about it. This is something you would probably have an inkling of because it looks like it's pretty visible. 5 of Swords, 7 of Swords, the Devil. I think most of you all know if there's like an inconsistent or insincere or just kind of twisted in whatever way energy in your life that you're kind of like, I want nothing to do with that. The Chariot in that crowning position is saying something much better is available to you, but yes, it is going to demand of you effort. It is going to demand some of your energy, but not too much. Temperance is in your future. You may have seen a really goofy smile come over my face in the beginning because seeing the Devil in your past, but then temperance in your future. I mean, like, hello, look at this echoing symbology. It's really like, I was going to say it's like day and night. But the cool thing about temperance, much like the Chariot card, is they contain opposites. The Chariot represents the sun and the moon, right? And temperance represents that we need both sides of the coin. We need yin and yang. We need all of the shades and colors of the rainbow. And shadows create dimension. So it's not like we're saying that there's never going to be shadows and there's never going to be challenges. It's saying I'm going to pick healthy challenges. And I feel like Spirit's getting kind of literal because they're saying for some of you, that you are going to be very focused on specifically like your physical body and physical health, of like, I want to drink more water, I want to eat more nutritious things, I want to become more like kind of limber is what I'm feeling, and more just energetic. That's just what they're saying for some of you. So some of you might be on either like a weight loss or workout type journey over the next 6 months, and Temperance is saying very good things about that, saying that that would bring a great deal of confidence and balance into your life. And you, Capricorn, we haven't even talked about it yet, show up. This is literally, the position is called where you find yourself. You find yourself as the Magician, full of talent, full of skill, full of work ethic, full of inspiration. Cups, wands, swords, pentacles, all 4 elements the Magician has on the table in front of her. And the sort of symbolism there is when she kind of puts these different things together in different ways, she can create anything she wants. She can manifest a new reality. So it feels like there is nothing that you need to go out and get. It feels like everything you need is exactly within you. So you don't need more experience, you don't need more this or that. You've got what you need. I would never deter you from gaining more knowledge or experience or this or that, but there's no need to wait. You can go now. The Chariot awaits. The Chariot is right there. The Fool, are you ready to hop in? Are you ready to be like, I mean, there's a reason. Normally in the classical Fool card, you see him with just his little stick and bindle, right? Just like his little stick and his tiny little bag. And in this version, we see her with just her teeny tiny little backpack. 7 of Swords. We're not taking everything. We're only taking what we need. Not because we're going to go without, but because we want a nice light load. We're taking off. We're going. The Magician. I have everything I need. I don't need excess. That just weighs me down. I'm ready. Some of you may literally be moving. Some of you, this is just taking your skill, your talent, and being like, I'm going to pursue this. And that is going to be top of mind. Now Spirit is saying, we're having you come through as the Magician because we're talking about lunar eclipse in the 1st house. What makes you feel like a bad motherfucker, like a badass magician? Like, if I were to create a piece of art every week, paint a little something, collage a little something, photograph a little something, that would make me feel magical. Or if I started learning to play this instrument, or if I started reading up on programming or whatever, learning a new language, I feel like I would feel more badass and more like the Magician. Then do it. Challenge yourself. That is the message here. challenge yourself, but not 10 of wands, 10 of swords, crazy challenge. Temperance, in moderation, knowing this is going to pay off. That's why I'm doing it. I'm doing this because I'm going to love what it does. Either I'm doing it because I love doing the thing itself, making the art, going for the run, whatever, or I love what it's going to do for me. I don't love going for the run. I'm sweating, I'm breathing heavy, I hate it, but I'm so happy that it puts me in a better mood, that it helps me stay healthy, that it keeps my heart and my body like vivid and alive and vital. You feel what I'm saying? It is time to break free for you, Capricorn. It is time to break free and to move forward. And not because you've been in a crappy place. I mean, honestly, it feels like you've been in kind of a comfort zone place, if anything. Like, maybe it's not enough, maybe it's not exactly what I wanted, but this lunar eclipse has kind of come in to push you out of complacency or the nest and toward some wish fulfillment. Out of kind of fear or blindness or attachment to what could go wrong more than what could go super fucking right. But the potential is feeling so incredibly satisfied and having all this juicy wonderfulness in front of you to sit back and enjoy. So it looks to me like the time and effort you put in really pays off exponentially, Capricorn, which is kind of your favorite thing. Your effort has compound interest. That is what Spirit is saying. Every 1% you get better, every 1% you like yourself better, consider your net worth to go up in time with your self-worth. That's just what they're saying, Magician. We're not even looking at pentacles here, but that's what they're saying. So actually, as they say it, they're like, yeah, we know, wait till August. So looks like you're going to put some time in this month and already start to see some results if you so choose. Sow the seeds and the orchard will take care of itself, okay, Capricorn? You just worry about the seeds, little by little. Temperance, moderation, little by little. The world changes. Very excited for you, my magician friend. Do you have questions? Do you have comments or stories? Advice for fellow Capricorns going through this? I would love to hear how this is manifesting for you. And I really appreciate you being here, Capricorn. And I really, hugely appreciate the likes, any shares and subscribes y'all do. It really helps send the message to YouTube like, hey, show this to more people. So I appreciate those of you that take the time to do that very, very much. Thank you again, Capricorn. Blessings and love to you and yours. And if I don't see you in a video before then I hope I see you in August. Bye, Capricorn.